Hello, everyone. My name is Gabe Fernandez, and welcome to Control Alt Life. This is a podcast where we have real conversations about everyday life, business, relationships, struggles, success, failure, and everything in between. No politics. Today's topic is leadership. Not the kind of leadership you see on motivational quotes or in social media. Not the kind where everyone loves you, not the kind where you become the most popular person in the room. I'm talking about real leadership. The kind that requires difficult decisions, that requires consistency, and sometimes makes people upset with you. Okay? The kind that creates structure, accountability, and stability. Whether you're leading a business, a family, a team, or simply trying to lead yourself, leadership matters. And if there's one thing I've learned through the years of running a business, it's this. Leadership is not about being liked. Leadership is about responsibility. What makes a good leader? A lot of people think a good leader is someone who has all the answers. I disagree. A good leader doesn't have all the answers. A good leader is willing to find the answers. A good leader is willing to admit mistakes. A good leader is willing to make hard decisions. A good leader stays consistent, even when it's uncomfortable. Now, the people around you, they need to know what version of you they are getting. If you're happy one day and angry the next day and making exceptions every other day, people don't know what to expect. That creates confusion. Confusion creates frustration. Frustration creates chaos. People don't follow chaos. People follow consistency. Being a leader doesn't mean that you have to be perfect. It means you have to be dependable. Okay? Now, fair doesn't always make people happy. One of the biggest mistakes leaders make is trying to make everyone happy. It's impossible. No matter what decision you make, someone will always disagree. Someone will think that they're being treated unfairly. Someone will feel offended. Someone will think they deserve special treatment. Leadership is not about making everyone happy. Leadership is about being fair. There's a huge difference. Fair means everyone follows the same rules. Fair means everyone is held accountable. Fair means everyone is treated with respect. Fair means nobody gets special treatment because they're your friend. Many businesses fail because leaders start making emotional decisions. One employee gets away with something because they've been around for a long time. Another employee gets away with something because they're friends with the owner. And before long, nobody respects the rules. Once that happens, the culture starts breaking down. People don't need favoritism. People need consistency. Even when they don't like it, they need it. Why structures matter. One of the biggest mistakes I see business owners make is this. They build a business around themselves instead of building a business around a system. Now, in the beginning, that's understandable. When you're starting out, you're the salesperson, the technician, the customer service department, the bookkeeper, and sometimes even the janitor. But everything doesn't need to depend on one person. If it does, that business eventually hits a ceiling. If you're the only one who knows how to do something, you're not building a company, you're building a job, a very stressful job. Real leadership means creating systems and processes that allow other people to succeed. People get sick. People take vacations. People leave. Life happens. Now, if your business falls apart every time someone is absent, that's not a people problem. That's a system problem. The strongest businesses aren't built around superstars. They're built around structure. If I could give one piece of advice to any business owner, it would be this. Create structure before you need it. Most businesses start with hustle. The owner does everything. The sales, service, scheduling, collections, inventory, customer service, everything. And in the beginning, that works, but eventually, growth creates problems. The very thing that helped you start your business becomes the thing that's holding you back. That's where structure comes in. Structure is what allows a business to grow. Structure is what allows a business to survive. Structure is what allows a company to function even when the owner isn't there. Without structure, everything depends on one person. Again, that's not a business. That is a job with extra stress. Rules, policies, procedures, and SOPs. For those of you that don't know what an SOP is, that is a standard operating procedure. Now, a lot of people hear words like this and they automatically think restrictions, but it's actually freedom, because every successful organization operates on systems. Airlines have procedures. Hospitals have procedures. Police departments have procedures. The military has procedures. Why? Because procedures and consistency save lives. The same principle applies to business. If every employee performs a task differently, well, quality is going to become inconsistent. Customers receive different experiences, mistakes multiply, frustration increases. That's why SOPs matter. They create predictable outcomes. People perform better when the expectations are clear. Rules aren't there because we don't trust people. Rules exist because we want everyone to move in the same direction. Leadership is building a team. One of the hardest lessons I've learned is that leadership isn't about doing everything yourself. Many business owners believe nobody can do it as well as I can. Maybe that's true, but that's not the point. The point is you have to sustain. A leader's job is not to do everything. A leader's job is to build people. If your company only works when you're present, then you've created dependence. Real leadership creates independence. The goal is to build a team that can function even when you're not there. Think about that. The true test of leadership isn't what happens when you're present. The true test is what happens when you're absent. Do these systems continue to work? Do people follow processes? Do customers still receive great service? Does the team continue to move forward? If your answer is yes, you've built leadership. If your answer is no, you've built dependence. Think long term. Many people make decisions based on today's emotions. Great leaders make decisions based on tomorrow's consequences. Leadership requires long-term thinking. Sometimes you'll have to make an unpopular decision today that will be beneficial years from now. Maybe that means enforcing a policy. Maybe that means holding someone accountable. Maybe that means saying no. Leadership often requires temporary discomfort for long-term success. Most people can make decisions that feel good today, but few people can make decisions that build something better for tomorrow. Trusting people without losing control. Another lesson I've learned the hard way is that leadership requires trust. But trust is complicated. If you've been in business long enough, somebody has probably disappointed you. Maybe they lied, maybe they cut corners, maybe they took advantage of your kindness, maybe they promised something and didn't deliver. I've experienced all of these things. And when that happens, it's easy to become cynical. It's easy to say, I'm never trusting anyone again. But that's dangerous. Because while trusting the wrong people can hurt a business, refusing to trust someone can stop your business from growing. You cannot lead everything yourself forever. You can't personally answer every phone call. You can't personally run every service call. You can't personally make every decision. At some point, leadership requires delegation. The goal isn't to trust everyone blindly. The goal is to create a system that allows people to earn trust while maintaining responsibility and accountability. Trust and accountability aren't opposites. They're partners. The best leaders provide both. Everything needs structure. Every successful business, family, team, or organization has structure. Not because structure is exciting, not because structure is popular, but because structure creates stability and stability creates trust. People want to know what to expect. Customers want to know what to expect. Employees want to know what to expect. Your family wants to know what to expect. When expectations are clear, people are going to perform better. When expectations are unclear, confusion is going to take over. Confusion creates frustration, frustration creates conflict, and conflict slows progress. Leadership is not about controlling people. Leadership is about creating an environment where people can succeed. Structure provides that environment. Structure provides direction. Structure provides accountability. Structure provides consistency, and consistency builds confidence. The best leaders aren't constantly putting out fires. The best leaders build systems to prevent fires from happening in the first place. That doesn't mean problems disappear. It means problems become easier to identify, easier to solve, and less likely to happen again. Leadership provides that stability. Leadership provides that direction. Leadership provides that consistency. And whether you're leading a business, family, a team, or simply yourself, structure will always outperform chaos. Leading yourself first. Here's the hard truth. If you can't lead yourself, you can't lead anyone else. Leadership starts with a personal discipline, showing up on time, keeping your word, managing your emotions, taking responsibility, admitting mistakes, being honest, being dependable. The habits you practice privately become the example people see publicly. Your team watches more than they listen. Your family watches more than they listen. People pay attention to what you do, not what you say. Prayer and leadership. I also want to talk about something that has helped me tremendously. Prayer. Leadership comes with pressure, responsibility, financial stress, difficult decisions, people depending on you, families depending on you, employees depending on you, customers depending on you. Sometimes it's so overwhelming. But prayer helps create perspective. Prayer reminds us that we don't have to carry this burden all by ourselves. Prayer slows us down. It helps us think before reacting. It helps us seek wisdom instead of emotion. Some of the worst decisions I've ever made happened when I reacted emotionally. Some of the best decisions I made happened after slowing down and praying and asking for guidance. Prayer doesn't magically remove problems, okay? Don't expect that. But it can help us approach a problem with some sort of clarity, humility, patience, and wisdom. And every leader needs those qualities. Final thoughts. As we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with this. Leadership is not about titles. It's not about authority. It's not about popularity. Leadership is about responsibility. It's about consistency. It's about fairness. It's about creating structure. It's about building systems. It's about developing people. It's about making decisions that protect the future. And most importantly, it's about creating something that can continue long after you're gone. Leadership leaves fingerprints. Every decision you make affects someone. Your employees, your customers, your family, your friends. And that's why leadership matters. Whether we realize it or not, someone is always watching how we handle responsibility. Whether you're leading a business, leading a family, or simply trying to become a better version of yourself, remember this. People don't need a perfect leader. They need a consistent leader. They need a fair leader. They need a leader who stands for something. They need a leader who is willing to do the right thing even when it's difficult. Now let's leave with the challenge. This week, identify one area in your life or business that lacks structure. Maybe it's scheduling, maybe it's communication, maybe it's financing, maybe it's customer service, maybe it's your own daily routine. Whatever it is, stop relying on memory, emotion, and guesswork. Create a process for it. Write it down. Improve it. But follow it consistently. Because leadership doesn't happen through motivation alone. Leadership happens through structure, consistency, discipline, and it needs to be repeated day after day. Leadership isn't about being in charge, though, either. Leadership is about taking care of those in your charge. Thank you again for joining me on Controlled Alt Life podcast. My name is Gabe Fernandez. Have a great week. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and remember, life is hard enough. Let's not make it harder. If we do better, things will get better. We'll see you next time on Control Alt Life.